Hello folks, shintigercurl here, that dude in the straw hat, here to bring you yet another awesome video. Now, if you probably haven't heard yet, CM Punk just did an interview with a prominent website which has gotten a lot of flack for it. I'm gonna pull it up right now. I saw it on my Facebook and thought it's from Wrestling News Center. CM Punk enrages pro wrestling wrestlers and fans with SI.com interview. Former WWE superstar turned UFC fighter CM Punk has angered many wrestlers and fans with statements made in an interview with Sports Illustrated on SI.com. It is a somewhat lengthy interview, but the answer seems to be the most controversial to the question: what made you a good pro wrestler? CM Punk's response: well, that's another thing about that phony world. What does it mean to be a good fake wrestler? That's an identity crisis that I've struggled with. It doesn't matter if you're the best. Someone else who they want in to they someone else picks who they want in the top spot. Now I'm not going to read the rest of it because it's really long and this would be a very long video if it did, but I'm probably going to catch a lot of flack for this, but I agree with CM Punk. Not because I'm a fanboy or anything, but because essentially he's just like he always says, he's just telling the truth, and you be blind not to see it. It doesn't matter for the most part in the WWE, at least on the main roster. It doesn't matter how good you are or how well you are in the ring or how many great matches you have. If they don't pick you, as if the so-called top brass, if you're not the chosen one, you will never be the best. Referencing to CM Punk's pipe bomb of John Cena many years ago, he pretty much said that he didn't hate John Cena. He hated this idea that John Cena is the best. I'm not saying that Cena is a bad wrestler, but CM Punk is a better wrestler. Not saying CM Punk is the best wrestler in the world either, just saying that when comparatively, CM Punk is a better wrestler than John Cena. Now, a lot of people just see, this is why what I don't like about the IWC's response to CM Punk lately have been, they call him a quitter, they call him this and that and that and this, but I'm trying to put this into good words. Look at it this way. This is the most. If it wasn't true, then lately the prime example has been Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. Now Daniel Bryan is the bar none the most popular man in the company right now. Has been for more than a year, going on 2 years. He's been the most cheered. He has been the most accepted. His merchandise sells the most, next to John Cena, and his matches have always been good. But this year has shown that Roman Reigns has been chosen as the next John Cena. And that shows in how he's been booked. He has been pushed to the moon, shoved down our throats. The fans see this and they don't want this. And even with Daniel Bryan giving the guy props, he's still not really that over with the fans, even though the higher ups are pushing him to be that way. So essentially, regardless of the fake comments or what have you, what CM Punk said was the God's honest truth. If you're not chosen by the higher ups, if you don't have something they don't like, they're not going to push you. You will never be the best. Look at Dolph Ziggler. The guy has charisma. He has a great look, great character. He is an in-ring worker, regardless of if he bumps far too hard. He's only had 2 title runs. First one lasted about 15 minutes. Second one lasted about a month or so before he had to drop due to a concussion. Look at Cesaro. Cesaro is a massively talented person. He has a very marketable look. He's good on the mic. His in-ring ability is second to none. He is ungodly strong. He won the first ever Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal by throwing the Big Show over the top rope. That amounted to nothing. He was given perhaps the greatest orator that professional wrestling has ever seen in the guise of Paul Heyman. That amounted to nothing. He stagnated. All because Vince McMahon, his own words, he doesn't get Cesaro at all. And only recently has Cesaro gotten any kind of recognition with his tag team run with Tyson Kidd. The same with Daniel Bryan. Well, I've already mentioned Daniel Bryan, but there are a lot of great, talented wrestlers who are not pushed to the main event because they're simply not the chosen one. Dean Ambrose is another one. Dean Ambrose is a fucking workhorse. He takes bumps and does matches that should make a person regret getting up in the morning, and yet he doesn't complain. He just goes out there and does it. Even though he is on a current pay-per-view losing streak, he is still over with the fans. They still enjoy him. He still puts on great matches. And he doesn't get anything because he's not the chosen one. Now, CM Punk likens this back to his epic title run, which was like 334 days, I believe. I could be wrong. But it's just very telling that it's very true, because during those days he didn't main event a lot of pay-per-views. Go and look back on it. So people say, well, during his tenure, pay-per-view buys were all at all-time low. You can only say that if he was in the main event, which he wasn't. A lot of those pay-per-views, John Cena, who was not the champion, did not headlined at most of those pay-per-views. Hell, the last two WrestleManias before Daniel Bryan won the title were main evented by John Cena versus The Rock. And one of those times was not for a title. It was just John Cena versus The Rock. And during during that pay-per-view, CM Punk was the champion, and he won. CM Punk was the champion. That was the start of his title run. He put on a great match, but he was sidelined. He was sidelined not to be the champion. Was not in the main event. What does that say? The very next pay-per-view, he does a great match with The Undertaker, which was match of the night, and yet still John Cena and The Rock were main eventing that WrestleMania. So you can see that he's telling the truth. And you can see, and if you call CM Punk a whiner and a complainer and a bitch, then you're blind, because he's just telling the truth. And people, and some people say that, oh, if Daniel Bryan got into a triple threat this year, they'd be just repeating the same match over and over again. They did this before with John Cena versus The Rock. They did it 2 years back to back. And yet people who don't like Daniel Bryan complain that they shouldn't do a main event back to back again like that. Yeah, it's not like that wouldn't be because that's not the first time they've ever held they've ever held a match type back to back 2 WrestleManias a year, 2 WrestleManias in a row. Remember, John Cena and The Rock main evented 2 WrestleManias back to back. And half of the time, it wasn't even for the title. It was just them beefing in one of the worst booked main events in WrestleMania history. So yeah, I'm good. Regardless of if you're smart, I'm talking to the smart fans out there, not the blind fanboys who go through who I've seen called CM Punk a whiny little bitch and a complainer and sour grapes. He has nothing to be bitter about. Sure, his last tenure ended badly, and he had to quit for health reasons because of a Mensa staph infection that, if he continued to progress, would have more than likely killed him. And sure, he wasn't getting the push that he felt he deserved, and certainly he did deserve it. But you cannot sit there and say that what he said was wrong. Why would see people get pissed off when they hear the truth because they don't want to hear the truth. This is the sad truth of it all. If it wasn't true, Daniel Bryan would have been facing Brock Lesnar, bar none, and it would have been a great match. Sure, Daniel Bryan might not have won, but it still would have been a great match. And it may not have played out the same way it did this year. Not saying that this year's main event sucked or what have you. It was good. I'm just saying it would have been better if Daniel Bryan was in it. So now he's in the mid card. Now you can say that he's trying to elevate the IC title by being the IC champion. But it still doesn't change the fact that what CM Punk said was true. If it wasn't true, a lot more guys would be chasing the belt, and a lot more title defenses going. And it wouldn't be just John Cena getting title match after title match after title match. Last year, okay, sure, Brock Lesnar hasn't defended it much, but last year, pretty much all of Brock Lesnar's title defenses up until Roman Reigns have had John Cena in it. Constantly. When he could have been fighting someone else. When they could have been booking another challenger like Daniel Bryan or Dean Ambrose or Seth Rollins earlier, or who else? Or Cesaro, or any one of the other talented mid-card guys that just don't get a push because Vince, Kevin Dunn, and whoever is booking don't agree with them or don't believe they're the chosen one. And now Roman Reigns is the chosen one now, and they're focusing all his attention on him, completely ignoring that the guy has a lot of problems right now, and that he needed a mid-card run to kind of find his place. But now the fans see that and they don't want nothing to do with him. But my point is being that if you're getting mad about this, then I don't want anything to do with you. I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm just saying if you use your eyes and your brain, you could see that what CM Punk was saying is the truth. My grandfather always said, it's better to listen to a hard lie than it's better to listen to an easy. I'm sorry, I'm getting this messed up. Saying was, people prefer an easy lie to the hard truth because an easy lie sounds better. If CM Punk was just saying this to be bitter, he's got nothing to be bitter about. He's doing okay for himself. He's going to be in mixed martial arts. He's making money writing for Thor, and I've heard his Thor is doing great. He's got money. He doesn't need to be bitter about this. He is just speaking the truth. It's a harder truth than a lot of people are used to, but it's still the truth nonetheless. And if you don't think it's the truth, then you haven't been watching WWE for the last couple of years or so. Because if it was true, CM Punk during his title run would have gotten more main events than he should have gotten. If that was true, Daniel Bryan should have been main eventing this year's WrestleMania as well. If all of that wasn't true, but unfortunately it is. I know it, you know it, everyone else knows it, and if you got a problem with that, then you're blind. You're blind. You're turning a blind eye. And you're one of those guys who complain about the WWE up and down and yet will defend it when something like this happens. So there's no point for you to defending it. I mean, I complain about the WWE. I give the good as well as the bad. But this is just CM Punk saying the truth. The truth is, it doesn't matter how skilled you are. It doesn't matter how good a wrestler you are. It doesn't matter how good it doesn't matter how many 5-star or 4-star matches that you give on pay-per-views and on free TV. As long as you're not the chosen one, you will never be the best. And that's just a sad, sad truth of it. So, those are my thoughts on the CM Punk interview. If you like what you see, link, comment, subscribe below. Got any questions or comments? Leave them below. And as long as they're not stupid or inane fanboy crap about hating CM Punk, I will reply to them. Otherwise, I'm not even going to waste my time. I got too much time. I got too much intelligence to be dealing with stupidity. So if you bring a concise, intelligent argument, I will present a concise, intelligent rebuttal. So if you like what you hear, click on advertisement. It helps out a lot. There's the tip jar. So until the next time, this is shintigercurl saying good day. And Punk's just telling the truth.